Um, so first of all, thank you so much for saying yes
Of
to
course.
this. You're such a love. I feel like you're eternally generous with your energy and enthusiasm about
Thank
this
you.
state. Um, Staci, I was looking back, I'm like, crap, like when did we work together?
So we've been working together. So my oldest, no, not my oldest, my youngest is 7. And I think it was right after I had him. So I think it was like March. Yeah, I had him in March. So like spring of 2019, I think was our first, like my first stint of fat burning.
That sounds
And lots of things have changed since then. So
so this is going to be really interesting because I think the longest the person that I've had this type of interview with, I think the longest duration has been like a year and 3 months that someone has been working with me. So this is, so what is that? It's more than 6 years.
yeah, and to be honest, I probably started watching, like really like tuning in and watching your videos um while I was pregnant with Will. So like because I knew I needed to change something. Like I had tried everything. I was 44 and I was not happy where I was in my body. Like my brain wasn't right. I wasn't sleeping great, all the things. I wasn't consistently working out, everything. But I had tried everything.
So actually, maybe we'll just like start, which is, so my first question
Okay.
is what was life like before fat burning, a fat burning pro?
Okay. It was inconsistent. I was like a huge emotional eater and not like, I don't even think I knew I was an emotional eater, but like if I was bored, I would snack. Not even like snack, like I'm not like a chip snacker, but like I could go like all day. Like when I lived by myself years and years and eons ago, it would be nothing for me to like have like a bread bowl with like something like, I don't know, like chowder in it, but like not a lot of chowder because I really just wanted to eat the bread. You know, like bread is my like thing. I love bread. And I still love bread. I just love it differently now. But I had tried every I tried, can I say names of programs?
Please.
Okay, I've tried Weight Watchers multiple times. I did the South Beach diet. I did Atkins. I did like you name it, I tried it. I did like long ago like Advocare and like many different supplements, things like that. My biggest thing is I don't like to cook. I don't love to food prep and I can't eat 5 times a day. Simply because I'm a teacher and it just doesn't lend itself to that.
Yeah.
So like fast forward to 2019, I wish I had found this when I was in my 30s, but like I don't know if I would have been ready for it, but it's not like it was never hard. So like when I was like so intrigued and I think maybe I don't even know if I was pregnant when I reached out to you or if Will was a newborn, but I was just kind of like I need to know more about this. Um
And so, Staci, what were you like? What were you facing? Like, you had extra weight on your frame, you had low energy. Like, what?
So I had low energy. So oddly enough, I didn't so pregnancy for me is food's gross, protein's disgusting, and so I actually lose weight during pregnancy, but I wasn't like I was very doughy. I had no like I was exhausted all the time.
Mm,
Um I was anxious. I couldn't relax. My sleep wasn't like I don't think my sleep was sound. Like I would sleep, but I would wake up. Um, like I thought at that time like I could have a couple of glasses of wine to that would like totally help me sleep. But I never felt rested. Um, my mood wasn't always great. Like I was very moody, like up
mhm.
and down. I would have those crashes. I would get starving, hangry. Like the hanger was like if I hadn't eaten, don't talk to me.
Mhm.
And like brain fog was like here, like way up here. So it was like, it was challenging, but like the hanger, for anybody that knows me, including my poor husband, like, and my kids, was like, I couldn't, like, it was awful. It was awful. And then I would eat like whatever I could, like whatever I could, but it always involved bread and lots of it.
I think we all have like one thing, like, or in a neighborhood of one
Yeah.
thing. But yes, absolutely. The like one thing that kind of fixes everything, but not really.
Right.
Um, and so Staci, so I know you said you started following me. And I guess what ultimately made you reach out to me?
So I was watching one of your videos, and I think you were talking about potentially like bulletproof coffee and intermittent fasting. And I was kind of like, I don't think I can do that part. But maybe like I'm definitely into, like, you were talking about like how you eat, like, like you eat like 1 to 2 meals a day. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of like, that's my thing. Like I can do that. Like like I didn't love to eat breakfast anyway. Um, and I think I was just kind of like, I need to do something because I have no energy, and I'm like,
Mm.
like, I just feel miserable. Like I don't feel comfortable in my own skin. Um, and I just wanted to like, I wanted to be able to like do a lot of stuff with my kids. Like my kids were like, I felt like they were like draining the life out of me, but it wasn't really them. It was just like life in
But
general.
just,
I have 3.
but yeah, you have 3 children
Yeah.
and you work a full-time job.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, so that like got it, that meal frequency, like that kind of caught your attention,
Yeah.
hearing things about energy. That makes sense. And so that almost sounds like maybe that it sounds like that was like a little different. Like that was like a slightly like different approach.
Yeah. It was definitely different. It was definitely, and like the counting, right? Like the keeping track of like how many points or how many macros or how many this, like, I'm great at data in like my job, but like for me to like collect data and like do all those things, even like tracking how much water I've had, like it's like one more thing. It's like daunting to me. So the fact that it was kind of like you went by like how you felt, and it
Yes.
wasn't like like tracking numbers per se, I was like, oh. And I was learning, like you were like like whatever you were saying at the time, just like totally, like I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And then like I would look it up, and I was like, oh, like she totally knows her shit. Like she knows exactly what she's talking about. And this is like, I need somebody to like
Mm.
help. I needed help, and I needed help, and I needed somebody to call me out when I was like, well, I just don't feel like doing this. So this isn't really the right fit for me. Like I needed somebody to be like, well, that's not true. You're just whatever. Um, and then enter you.
Nice. Nice. So you had an element of faith
Yeah.
that I would that I would do that. And I should say that too. Staci and I went to we're
I'm a little
three
older.
years, 3 years apart.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
But grew up in the same town, went to the same high school, so familiar with each other for
Yeah.
sure. Um, uh, so Staci, number 3, how, if you can remember, this is like a million years ago now, which I love, which I'm going to totally highlight the crap out of at the end of this.
Yeah.
Um, uh, the process, both kind of the process of getting into a fat burning mode, literally going from knowing, feeling that you're burning sugar to the point where it's like, this is different. And then also just the program that you went through. How were those things?
Okay. So I was nervous about it because I was like, am I going to be able to do this? Like, that first like 9 days where you're like, you can't really have coffee. And not that I'm like a huge, like, I don't drink coffee any day, all day, every day anyway. Like, it wasn't like I was having like 6 coffees a day. Like, I would have like one, like, Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee with with cream. I'm not like a big sugar person anyway, like adding sugar. Like, that wasn't an issue, but I did definitely like, I was like, am I gonna get headaches? Am I gonna get hangry? Like that was the like And like the first 2 days I was kind of like, huh, this is different. Like I feel different. Like I woke up, like I started to wake up and feeling like rested. I like, you give that acronym and like to check in with
Mhm.
the SHMEC acronym. And
Mhm.
that like was so helpful because I was like, all right, am I hungry? No. What's my mood like? Oh, like my mood's pretty good. Like I'm not exhausted. Like I feel like I slept well. I feel like I didn't feel like I was crashing. And then once I got to that like first carb feast and I was kind of like, and my husband was like helping with like the cooking, which was
Yep.
great. But like I
Yep.
was telling him like, okay, like I want this, this, and this. Um, like I want like tuna with Brussels sprouts, but like add lots of butter and cook with lots of oil and do all those things. And he like read all the things for me. Um, and it was in the spring, so it was still like I'm like a huge iced coffee person, but putting like grass-fed butter in my coffee, like that's like such a it feels like a decadent treat, like latte, like something you could get at like from a barista. And I wouldn't like pound it, like I would just sip on it and I could sip on it for like hours and it was delightful. Um, so I actually still use like I use MCT oil in like
Yep.
in most of the time, but like on the weekends when I like in the winter, or like I still always have grass-fed butter on
Yeah.
hand and like
Yeah.
love it and use that. Which I love. Like I'm still drinking my coffee right now.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that like, so it sounds like like it felt different. Like
It
it,
definitely felt different and it felt like manageable. I didn't feel overwhelmed by it. Um, I didn't feel overwhelmed at all. And I think that for me, like as soon as I get overwhelmed, I kind of shut down.
yeah.
Like
Yep.
historically, I would like shut down and be like, can't do it, not doing it. Let's go get pizza or
Yep.
whatever. And like,
Yep.
I'm also like a big, like going out to eat. Like we love to go out to eat. Like we do that a lot. And it's easy to go out to eat and eat this way. Like it's so easy. It's like,
Right.
and it's not you don't have to it's like brainless like you like now I don't even have to like think and like once in a while I'll check in with you and be like, hey, what do you think about this?
Mhm.
But it's like it's so easy and like literally I feel like if I can like I've said to friends, like I've sent friends your way, like and I sent my sister Elaine, if I can do this and you can totally do this, anybody can do this, you just have to want to do it, right? um like with anything, but it took like the thinking and the
Mhm.
constant like obsessing over what you're going to eat and when your next meal is. It took that out of the equation for me and that was like freeing and like hallelujah.
Totally.
And then like my husband started to notice. He's like, you haven't eaten yet today, but yet you're not biting my head off. Um and you're not like forgetting where your keys are and like you seem like to have your shit together a little bit more. And it was like, and I was like, yeah, like um and then like I also like started like I fast forward a little bit, I stopped drinking less like just because I just
Yep.
didn't, it wasn't
Yep.
serving me anymore. So like I don't drink at all now and it's probably been like it's been almost 3 years, like this week will be 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, but like that I think that all kind of came into it. Now, granted, I think I fell off the wagon once and I called you back and I was like, I need to do like a reset and do this
Mhm.
again.
Mhm.
But and it wasn't because I forgot, it was just because like I got comfortable in habit. And now like, and that was like a while ago. That was probably like a year later.
Mhm.
And but since then, it's been like you even like going on vacation is easy. Um, it's so easy.
That's so fantastic to
Yeah.
hear. So the two things I just want to kind of call out, it's like yay for ease, like and yay for like little to no brain power that we need to waste on this. I think you mentioning like, it's like all the brain space that we often take up with worrying, is this too much? Is this enough? When do I have to do this? Like it's exhausting. And so for you to mention, so not only did like your brain kind of function differently in terms of like my mood is better, I feel clear, I'm not like a maniac if I cross this threshold time wise and I haven't eaten yet. It's like, and that honestly, like that impact on the people around you too, which is like a positive. Um, and then yes, not having to be hyper vigilant. I love that you um what do I want to say? There's so many things in there. And I'm gonna go back to the like the alcohol piece. Um, but the fact that like, you know, that you can do this while out to eat, that it's just like that it's so simple that like, you know, you're on vacation. Okay, like
Yeah.
it's just not a big deal. And I think also, Staci, what I love, like so many fat burners, like people, my goal is to make fat burners for life. That's like, that's my objective.
Hmm.
And what does happen for a lot of people is, you know, some people just kind of stay the steady course forever and ever. They are fewer in supply. Most people have a positive experience, lose a certain amount of weight, and then they kind of feel like, oh, this is just me, you know, so I can kind of do whatever I want because this is just me. And so sometimes people will have this kind of like slow slide away, and then they'll start to feel sugar burning characteristics in addition
Right.
to weight gain. And so it's like, oh my God, I don't want to be hangry. I don't want to have these crashes. I don't want to have cravings again. Like, and I certainly don't want to gain weight. And so then it's like, let me get back to this. And so that's perfect. And what I bet happened as well was that it was easier to get back into the groove the second time
Hmm.
because it's like you've already built the foundation. And so it's like, well, that's awesome too. And then you've already learned everything. So now it's like, okay, great. Like I just, you know, redevelop these habits. But the thing that I also loved hearing, and this is such a big one as far as I'm concerned, which is the like the listening to ourselves. And so I think because really this is about like, you know, doing certain behaviors, but then listening to the output of our body and knowing like, I really need a carb feast today. You know what? I think I can go one more day. Like, I'm gonna hang on because my best friend's birthday is tomorrow. Like, I can do that.
Hmm.
And so I love not only that that happens, and that's like, so and take the microphone and run. So atypical for most approaches to weight loss, which is just kind of like ignore, deny, like forget about your hunger, you can't eat bread anymore. Like we do the opposite, which is like, yes, bread is not helpful right now, but it's really helpful on your carb feast. Like, great.
Hmm.
Or how do we have it in a smaller amount, you know, more frequently, the more established we are as a fat burner.
Yeah.
Um, but I love, and you're not alone in this, the natural reduction in alcohol consumption. And I think that it's like it starts to become more or less obvious, however you want to look at that, when it's like, if I'm actually thinking about how I feel and how what I'm doing makes me feel, and I'd like to feel good or not compromise the state that I'm in, it makes less sense to do certain things.
Yeah.
And I just think that like it's it's so awesome, Staci, because I think that in our culture there's so much kind of like harmful behavior
Hmm.
that's pretty socially acceptable that we just kind of like, you know, you know, I did this again because everyone else is kind of doing it. And I think that anyway, it's alcohol can be so fun, but it's like it is a poison. So for you just to kind of reduce and then like fully step away because you've been listening to yourself and like honoring your body, I just think is fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, it's not for everybody, but for me, it was just kind of like, Like I don't have to worry about like if I have something in like my Yeti, like I don't have to worry about my kids running by and taking a sip out of it. Like they're like now they know that they can always take a sip out of my drink, which is fine. Which I don't really love because I still like love my drinks, like my stuff. Like I don't like to share my food.
That makes sense.
But it's like it's fine. It's safe, like it's safe for them to do that now. Um and yeah, and like just like going back to like going on vacation, I think the first thing for me was kind of like before like my mindset completely changed. I was like, oh, I was bad. Like I was bad this week. I definitely gained like 5 pounds. And then like getting on the scale like later and being like, oh, I lost a pound. Like that's weird. I think I messaged you and I was like, I lost a pound and I had like 4 lobster rolls this week. Like with, like it was crazy to me. And I was like, this is insane. And then it was kind of like, oh, like just it was mind blowing. Like my mind was actually blown. I'm like, oh my God, like this is I was like I wish I had known about this soon. Like I wish I had known about this all my life. Um Now, again, I don't know that I would have done it because, like when you're a little bit younger, everything. And then the other thing is too, like my skin is like more amazing than it's ever been. And
Mm,
I'm over 50 at this point.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't, I'm not opposed to any of the injectable things like that, but I haven't done any of that. I don't like my breakouts are minimal where I felt like earlier, like I always right around here was like broken out in some way, shape, or form. Like I have zero makeup on, like I don't have anything on my face.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
yeah, so like I mean, just so many benefits. And like I don't have to worry about like I drink a lot of water, but I'm not like constantly like checking it in my app and being like, oh, need more water, need more water. And then just like the little tips that you give along the way, like, oh, like if you're hungry, like, but you're probably thirsty, which is like huge for me. Like I'm like, oh, like I'm feeling really hungry. Oh, I haven't really had any water to like I haven't really like, especially when I'm teaching, like I can pick up my water cup and be like, oh, well, that's because I haven't had a lot of water yet. Or I can just throw like like apple cider vinegar in there and be done with it. And like I keep all that stuff in my classroom.
Yeah.
I keep a little blender in there. I always have bars in there. I always have protein in there if I need it. Like I'm actually like I'm 1 meal a day most of the time
Yep.
at this point since it's been so long. It took me a while to get there for sure, but it's like I always have it's easy things to have on hand, right?
Yeah.
It's like I just have a little cubby in my classroom with like a little, and I think it's an old like Sunbeam like uh blender, but it's like,
Yep.
it's not like anything expensive. I think it costs $18. And I've had it for years and I put a little bit of ice, a little bit of water, 2 scoops and done and like that. And if I need that and like but that's how I functioned like as a teacher. Like,
Awesome.
a lot of times we don't get to sit down and eat or you only get like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I can just like I can have my bar and my shake like anywhere and anytime.
Yeah.
And it was like amazing. I'm like, this is just, it's so easy.
I love that too. Like, I love the shake that we use that helps with insulin sensitivity and that it's like, we use it in the beginning. People tend to kind of like taper off from it. And then a lot of us eat once a day just because we can and it's
Mhm.
convenient. And
Yep.
some people eat twice, but that's like typical for fat burners. It's like twice or once, or at least the people in our
Yeah. And
community.
typically now, because my kids are 7, 9, and 11 and are all in all the activities, I literally eat dinner most of the time at like between like 4:30 and 5:30 before they have to be anywhere. So, um, it even makes it that much easier. So it's like I just, like we'll like either try to have something prepared or like even if we're like, oh crap, we got to eat on the fly tonight, it's easy to like
Yep.
just like order a salad with some grilled chicken on it and a couple of other things and not feel like, oh, I have to like run through a drive-through.
Yes. Yep. That's huge. That's so good. That like you have flexibility, and also like ease. Like if you want simple, that's what people typically do. They get fast food of some sort.
Mhm.
But it's like, once again, our food can be very uncomplicated. For the longest time, I didn't really even cook. And it was like, I'm teaching people about how to eat to lose weight, but I don't really even cook, because the truth is you don't really have to,
Yeah,
you
and I'm
know?
a, like my husband does most of the cooking, like when it's cooking, but I'm a non-cooker. Like living by myself ruined cooking for me because it was kind of like like you're always like trying to cook for the masses, and then like I'm not a big huge like leftover in that capacity thing. And like the same thing with like snacking, like I always like had to find like, you'd have to buy like special snacks. So like it just gets daunting.
Totally. Totally. And I think yeah, I feel like a theme that's been coming out with these interviews is that, like, so easy, and then also just doing less. And so like,
Mhm.
instead of like, oh, I need to buy this, and should make a point to have that, and does this, let's like, uh if you really like something or really want something, it's like, then maybe we can figure that out. But I just feel like, to your point, there's just so much less brain work,
Mhm.
so much less expenses, honestly, like in terms of food and all the accoutrements that like you might need.
Right.
That is excellent. And so, Staci, I feel like we're kind of like in and out of like the answer to this question, but what is, and this has been 6+ years, what is life like now?
The life is crazy. However, but not because it's crazy just because of where my kids are at in life, but it's like, I work out, like I try to work out 5 times a week at least. Um, that doesn't always happen like to like how I would want to do it, but that's like kind of the other beauty of it. I can just like throw on my weighted vest and go take my dog for a walk, and that's good. Like that's like I'm okay, like that's like I just feel like I don't have to like beat myself up to be like, oh, I didn't
Mhm.
eat right. I didn't eat the best today, or I didn't get my workout in, or it's just like everything's very forgiving, and so that part of my life is like just like I don't have to think about it, so I can really focus on the things that I do need to think about, and get child A to place one and child B to place two. And even if they're at the same time, it's just like I have a lot more brain capacity to like figure all that out. I feel like I'm a lot more focused at work when I'm at work.
Oh,
Um, and I just feel like I'm a lot more present, like to get what needs to get done. And I don't have to worry about like, okay, it's 11 o'clock, I have to eat again. It's 1:30, I have to have my snack, or I have to have like supplement ABCD. Like I can take all that, I take what I need to take in the morning, what I need to take at night. And like, I just, I make sure I always have like water with me. I
yep.
usually, I do get made fun of a lot because I always have many cups. I'm the cup lady. But like I get a little sad at the end of the day when my bulletproof coffee's gone. I'm like, oh, it's done. Like if I finish it a little earlier, I'm like, that stinks. But no, it's been like, it's just, and I think I had this conversation yesterday with somebody, and I was like, they were like, well, just tell me like what you do. And I was like, well, I can tell you what I do, but you have to like actually live it to like understand, because you're not going to think it will work. And you're going to be like, oh, that's hard. It's not. Like you actually have to do it um, for a little bit, and then like feel it yourself. And and it's also nice to have like have that accountability with you, or if, like I have a question, just being able to send you a text message and be like, hey, or the calls that you provide weekly, like, those are all so helpful, and you would never think that they would be, but like you don't even have to like, you don't have to turn your, like it's just a call, so you can just listen to it and just get a lot out of it without even having to participate,
Yep.
which is huge.
That, I'm happy to hear that. And I think that, you know, like, again, just kind of simplify, like, once again, my goal is to create fat burners for life. And then really, in many respects, like, support people, like offer places for support kind of like forever. And we will, I'm like, there's a membership brewing, like, because I feel like I want like next level stuff for people also. And just, you know, the more I learn, it's like uh I'm the age that I work with, you know, and so it's like there's just new things that are useful that I want to share. But I love just hearing about you know, and this is something that surprises me. So two things. One thing that doesn't fully surprise me that I love to hear is this element of forgiveness. You know, I don't have to beat myself up. I'm like, I give myself grace. You know, I wasn't perfect. Like, I skipped my workout and it's just totally fine. And so, for people to have this, like, and for you to have this sense of not just grace, but kind of like peace, like around your body, what you're doing is such a gift. Like, that is just, as far as I'm concerned, harmony is really what health is. And so it's like when we have this kind of ease in our body, about our bodies, like we understand that, you know, all is not lost because you chose to have blank with your kids at dinner time. Like, and you know, A, you're so established as a fat burner. And then B, you know, if it was like this was a little much, like you just know how to kind of like offset that, like
Yep.
physiologically, whether that's like, you know, I'm going to I'm going to like walk after dinner tomorrow or tonight. You know, it's like there's just things that you can do. And so I just love that. I think in diet culture in our world, there's this all or nothing thinking. So it's like, you know, no pain, no gain. I'm going to restrict the crap out of myself. I have to measure everything. Or I'm going to be, I, this is my thing, like body positive. I hope we're all body positive, but I'm going to say, like, I don't like diet culture, makes me feel bad. So I'm just going to kind of wander into the wilderness and eat as many donuts as I want. And it's like, that's fine if everything's fine, but it's not if it doesn't actually feel great and what it results doesn't actually feel great. So I just
And it's
love,
never felt like a diet, right? It
yeah,
doesn't like it's not a diet. It doesn't feel like that. And like and that's that I explain that to people a lot. And also just the fact that like because people will say like, "Oh, but like you have a lot of fat in your diet now." And I'm like, "Well, sure, because like that keeps you full." And like people like, like I think that freaks people out a little bit at first when they're like, "What do you mean you have like full, you don't use like low fat sour cream or you don't use like low fat anything?" And they're like, doesn't that mess with like your cholesterol and all? My cholesterol has never been better. And I was always on like the higher end. Um, like I never had to be on medication or anything, but like literally just went to the doctor on Monday and like like all my
amazing.
cholesterol is right where it's supposed to be. And I do like I have like I always ask for any like extra sour cream or extra butter or like all the things like especially if I'm having bread, like there's always like it's always in something, like there's always something on it. It's never plain. And that works.
Well, I'll say this too. So I know, like, so how we typically spell things out, like fat absolutely happens. And so that's the only thing we actually measure. I encourage people to just kind of mind that just because that
Mm-hmm.
can add up quickly calorically, but it is satisfying. And so essentially it's like you're either running on fat or you're running on carbohydrates. And like to
Mm-hmm.
have high levels of both is kind of like fast weight gain. So anyway, but I think what I also will just kind of like um I'll say this is what I believe. And I think this is also something that um, you mentioned before is about listening to your body. And so it's like, so when you start to do that and you have an education and a framework and you're guided to how to hear yourself, then it's like you just can't go that far afield. You can't miss the mark that far. Or you might self correct where it was like, you know, I actually was a little overfull with that, or that kind of affected my digestion a little bit. Or, like the scale isn't moving. Like let me, wow, I guess that, if I had sour cream and butter and an avocado, like it's like maybe I dial that down. And that's always obviously a place where I'm here also. But I think that what's so awesome about from the start, and again, like you said, it doesn't feel like a diet. It's just like it's just easy things to do that result in something that's positive. Then it's like you you use this framework and you eat as you desire, and then it's like you adjust if needed. And
Mhm.
so I just think that, like, because everybody has preferences, and I think that's like another great thing too. um and I'm such a big proponent of like, I will make whatever you want work, like whatever it is. And so whether that is rich stuff, or whether that is bread, or whether that is like, you know, crazy candy shit, like it's like we can figure this out. Um, so anyway, and to your other point, Staci, when people say, well, just tell me what you do. And this was something another fat burner in her interview was like, well, you don't start here.
Right.
Like, so what you are doing is appropriate for someone who's like an established fat burner. And that could be at, I would say like 2 to 3 months, like maybe, but like 6 plus years, it's like you're in a different league. And it's like you didn't start here. And so I think that, to your point, like you have to do it. Like you have to do it because your body actually needs to change in order to do what you do.
Right.
And I think that's like, um something that like breaks my heart around like fasting or intermittent fasting, is that the world kind of has the like concept that it's like, oh, this is beneficial, this does these things, but that's like, well, I'll just do it. And it's like, well, wait a minute, like your body is used to running on sugar, and so this is going to feel like a pretty hard fast fall, and one that typically burns people, and to
Yeah.
whatever degree they do it. um Whether that's like I just don't have the results I want, or that like made me feel terrible and I'm never going to do it again.
I can remember doing a juice fast like way before this. And it was awful and it was like disgusting to me. I'm not even a juice, like there were some of them that were really sweet. So it was awful. But I can remember like being like, all right, I got through these 4 days. I gained weight. I didn't lose anything. I was like, oh, that's so sad. Yeah. Because it was just like my body's like, what are you doing to me? But even still, like I can do like I've now I've learned a lot about like fasting and like doing those little boost um groups that you run. And I
Yep.
never could have fasted for 48 hours 6 years ago. Never.
That's me neither, you know,
Yeah, it's
me neither.
and
And so,
even explaining that to people now, like talking to my mom about that, she's like, "What do you mean you're fasting? Like, you're like for how long?" Some people understand it and get it, and not that my mother doesn't understand it. It's just that like she can't like that's hard. That would be really hard for her. Um, and you've spoken to my mom, so yeah,
which is reasonable,
yeah,
and so I think the big thing for people, like, and something I'm trying to do more of too, is just like, you know uh it's almost like it's so out of the realm of possibility. And so I think because it is, and like right now, but it's just remarkable. I think it's so exciting. And, to your point around like, I have so much more energy. I don't feel hangry. Like, people talk about like being in pain all the time or having headaches every day, or,
nope,
you know,
well,
or,
that's
or just even like being compromised regarding their health. Like you talked about high cholesterol or blood pressure medication. And it's like, when you just change your underpinnings, it's like everything changes. And to your point, week one, it's like I know for myself, this is like it's either like 12 or 13 years. It's been a long time. But I remember it was so disorienting when I first got into a fat burning mode, because it was like I was the eating every 2 to 3 hours person. And it was like I'm like a dog going back to my food bowl, like looking for nothing. And it's like, this is so disorienting. So I think that to your point, until you have to do it, and when you do it, then you actually can do other things, but then you have the real experience of like, this is nuts. Like I went all day, I went 4 hours in between meals. I went all day until 4:30 without food. It's like, sounds crazy, but it's how we're meant to run. And so
And
anyway,
even on the flip side, like I, like not having night sweats, I was like, I would wake up multiple times a night soaked and have to
yeah.
change.
Yep.
And I'm not anywhere near menopause, which is also crazy. Thanks, mom. Um, but like, um, that and just like going to like, I literally like, my head will hit the pillow. Like I'm out and I'm out for the night. Like I don't like, I my kids go to the other side because it's like I don't wake up. Like I don't hear them if they go to the other side of the bed and wake up daddy. Because I don't,
Amazing.
it's great. And like I wake up and I feel rested and I'm not like a super like, workouts at 5:30 in the morning are not my jam. If I could during the school year work out at 8 a.m., that would be like amazing. Um, but I can still like I also don't feel like I have to like work out for hours and hours and hours. I can get in a quick
Amazing.
20-minute
Yay.
and feel good about it
Awesome.
and feel like I did what I needed to do. I can go for a 20-minute walk with a vest or without a vest. Like just like getting like just moving um is it's just been so eye-opening and I've gotten such an education and
Yep.
I've learned so much. Um but I also don't feel like people are like, well, I just need to do what you do. And I'm like, well, no, you just need to talk to Michaela because I'm not doing it justice. I'm not explaining it well. And you're not going to learn what, like, if you do what I do, you're not going to stick with it because it's not going to be feasible for you.
Yep.
So I think I say that a lot. I'm like, let me just put you in touch with Michaela and then you
All right.
decide.
Thank you. That I appreciate that for every reason. Um, Stacy, so final question, and then I just want to do like results.
Sure.
Like from when you began. Would you recommend this program? Like,
Hands down,
love it.
without a question. Like it's just I have spent so much money over the years on all the things. Um, and this is by far the, again, easiest, most sustainable, result driven. Yes. So yes, 100%.
Thank you. You're such a great spokesperson for this. I feel like you have sent many people my way.
It's just something that like it works here. Like you said, it's like how your body's meant to function. Um, and to not have to sit there on a stair stepper for 4 hours, like who has
Yep.
time for that? And who wants to do that? Not me.
Well, the other truth
Like that,
is that
like hit workouts, I can't.
the older we get, like, so I'll say this very quickly. Basically, it's like we can wear ourselves out. Like we can wear our joints out. We can wear things out. And so if we do really intense stuff, like we kind of just speed up like the our machinery. And so it's
Right.
like, I am definitely an advocate of like movement and resistance work like forever, but it's like if we're always just trying to like push, 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 and also outpace our diet, like if that's our main or one of our main tactics, it's like it's an uphill battle. And then the other thing that you're bringing up, and this is like weight loss or weight maintenance done best, which is where exercise is for conditioning or shape or strength or vitality or energy. It's not for weight loss. So then it's like we don't have to dedicate all this time and energy on it. It can be something that just enhances our body and our life.
Mhm.
And so, once again, super efficient and just like smart and good, useful for people that are busy with children who work, where it's like time is precious. So
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
awesome.
Mhm.
So Staci, what I've been doing with others is kind of like doing your stats. So it's like, um, so Staci, may I ask how old you are?
Yes, I'm 51,
Love it. And Staci, how tall are you?
5 feet.
Love it. Um, and do you remember what you weighed and or what your size was when you
I was
first started?
probably at that time like a 10, 12.
Okay.
I was about 175 perhaps.
Hmm.
And yeah, 175. And I was probably like, I also had a breast reduction during all of this. So
Wait,
I was
wait,
probably
wait.
like a GH cup
Wow.
size. Like I was humongous,
Yep.
and uncomfortable. And like anytime I gained weight, I would gain it in my chest and I could never lose it. So I was just like, my waistline would get smaller, my breasts would get bigger,
Wow.
headaches, all the things. Um, and you know, and I probably had like a couple glasses of wine a few times a week.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
And two, now. So obviously weight has probably gone up and down a little bit over these 6 years. But I'd love to hear maybe if there was a lowest point, if it's not now, but where are you now
so my
also?
lowest point, I was like 122,
Wow.
which I don't think I had seen since potentially high school.
Wow.
Um, Now today I am 131. Um, Still maybe I was 5'1 3/4" at the time. That's what I said, but I'm 5 feet tall now.
Okay.
I'm 5 feet, 131. Um, I'm probably like a B cup. But that again, I had a surgery for that.
Yeah.
Um, but and it's and like I said, like I'm not on other than like probiotic, prebiotic
Yeah.
vitamins, I'm not on any medication for like blood pressure or any of that, but I was like definitely headed in that direction for
Wow.
sure.
And Staci, you were a 10, 12 before?
Oh, I'm like a 2, 2, which I'd never been. And I've actually, I was actually embarrassed. Like last year when I was at my lowest, I had to go buy a pair of jeans. And I was like, the twos were swimming on me. So I had to get a 0. And I was
Whoa.
like, I won't buy these. Like, I'm like, this is embarrassing.
Oh my God.
So I never like what? And I actually just went to a wedding this like a few weeks ago. And the dress that I wore to that wedding, I wore to a wedding 18 years ago, like the week before I met my husband. And that dress is a size 4. So I was a size 4 when I met, like before I met my husband, and uh, was able to wear that dress. It's timeless.
Wow.
So that was exciting.
I'll say
Yeah,
18
and
years
it was
ago.
actually like a little like if I moved the wrong way, I would have had like a wardrobe malfunction. So it was even like a little like it fit, but it was like a little like I could have had it like taken up in the shoulders and things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Um, so that's, I'm just gonna like, so that's like 40 some odd,
Yep.
175
And I
minus.
was probably higher than that, like because I did with all 3 of my kids, I did like in vitro, I did all the things. So in between my son, my oldest and my middle, my son and my daughter, I was potentially up into like the 180s, just based on like all the hormones and all the things.
Wow. So even, so starting, so even if that number is a little more conservative at 175, so you lost, like your lowest or the most weight you lost was 53 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
and you've maintained a weight loss of 44 pounds
Mm-hmm.
and went
Yep.
from a 10, 12 to like a 2.
Yep.
That's so amazing, Staci.
Yep. It's a little crazy.
I'm gonna say this too. So you are like gold star, like again, people go up and down, like life, all perfect. I've reached out to a couple other longtime fat burners and or even just like, someone who's like less than a year, something like that. And a couple of them have been, said like, ooh, like I'm not doing this perfectly, or, I've stopped losing, or maybe I gained a little bit back. And my big thing is like, my greatest objective is to create a new normal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like to be at your lowest always, it's like that's generally not 100% realistic. And like even if another fat burner said she got down to like 122, but she low 120s and maybe she maintains around 125. Okay, great. So normally we just still never stay at our like lowest.
Right.
But what I love is that like I literally I see this over and over again. Like we just kind of get like a new body, and it's like, and we just kind of keep it. And then maybe we like fluctuate a little bit up and down around that. But it's like now this is you. And
Mm-hmm.
so like looking younger, like feeling better, having more energy, and being at this lower weight kind of like forever.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, that's amazing. I was excited to hear, like I get to see photos of you online, like looking
Yeah.
fit and working out and like, walks on the beach and stuff like that with the
Yep.
dog.
Keeps me accountable.
I love it. But anyway, that's dramatic. That's impressive.
Yeah. And it was like, for me, like like everybody likes a compliment, right? But it's like for people like I never get like I get like, oh, you look great, but it's never like, oh, you're too skinny. Like it's not like there was a point in time like last year, and I wasn't really trying to lose weight. I just think my metabolism has changed so much, and I was just full out busy, busy, busy. So there was like but I was still getting my workouts in. Like this past year, like it was busy, busy, but I wasn't probably getting my workouts in as much as I would in as much as my mental health would like um me to get them in. But it was still like I was like, oh, I definitely put on a lot of weight. And I did it. Like I think I've put on 7 pounds, but but a lot of it I think is also muscle.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And actually, you know what? That makes sense with you saying like the size that you're at is actually still the same
Yeah.
as
Because I
that
was like, oh,
20.
this dress is not gonna like I was going, my husband and I were going out to dinner and I was like those jeans, like the jeans that I bought, they're still too big. And I still need to go buy jeans, but like um, but it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I have a pair of pants that I bought at like Banana Republic a long time ago, and they're like white cropped pants. And I was like saving them. And they're too big now. And I still have them. But they're too big. Like, and I love them. And I think I have them in two sizes. I think I have them in a 4 and in a 6. And they're like, they're still too big.
That's,
Same.
I think that that's sad if you were saving them. That's a
They
good
missed
life
the window.
lesson. Like wear them. Um, but I think, well, maybe you
Yeah, like
have,
I wear a two-piece bathing suit. I never in my like
oh,
I didn't wear two-piece bathing suits when I was like younger, like in my 20s. And like even when I was a size 4 then, I don't think I really rocked a two-piece. I don't think I felt comfortable enough to. So now I do.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Um, I think that again, this is like you are not alone. To just feel more confident and more comfortable in your own skin. And like it sounds like you're even just exhibiting that you have like a different body composition.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
Crazy.
that's like also due to exercise, but that's really fantastic. Really, really good.
Yeah. So thank you
Oh my
introducing this
goodness.
to me, because I don't think I don't know that I ever would have, like if I hadn't like been just like scrolling and like being like, oh, what is Michaela saying? Like, and it just like it was like a light, like I had like a quick aha moment. I said to my husband, I'm like, I'm gonna do this. And he's like, okay. Like, I'm like, yeah, but it's gonna like I'm gonna have to pay for it. And he's like, yeah, but who cares? Like, whatever, you know? And because, you know, like trying to do it on my own wasn't working for
Oh my
sure. I was, you know,
goodness.
like I just didn't have the tools, and now I have the tools. Like I
Yeah.
have like a whole toolbox. And when
Okay.
I deplete the toolbox, I can always reach out to you, which is amazing.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. That's like what I want.
Mhm.
Um, is for people to feel to be accessible and
Yeah.
yeah, for people to have this forever. It's really great. Stacey, thank you so much for
You're
this.
welcome. Thank you. I thank you for including me.
Oh my goodness. I'll just stop the recording right now.
Sure.
Um, here we go. Stop.